Hi. We're still in John Wenham's book, The Goodness of God, on the chapter of hell. And he has presented 3 positions on hell, and now he has a subtitle in the book, Traditional Orthodoxy Not to be Surrendered Lightly. So 5 cautions against a hasty rejection of the teaching of traditional orthodoxy. Number 1, beware of immense natural appeal of any out that evades the idea of everlasting sin and suffering. The temptation to twist what may be quite plain statements of Scripture is intense. It is the ideal situation for unconscious rationalizing. So, beware of rationalizing. 2, beware of the pervasive and insidious influence of the modern world and the modern church. Such a doctrine of unending torment would inevitably be a natural point for merciless attack in the climate of opinion committed to the elimination of everything offensive to modern sentiment. Sentiment can't be the judge. 3, note that the modern revival of conditionalism was pioneered mainly by Socinians and Arians, who rejected such fundamental doctrines as the deity of Christ, and that today it constitutes an important element in the teaching of Jehovah's Witnesses and Christadelphians. Be wary of such bedfellows. He also in the footnote mentions that Seventh-day Adventists also hold this belief. 4, note that the adoption of conditionalism, even if it can be accepted as a possible interpretation of the Bible, does not solve all the difficulties. It can never be easy to accept the idea that God will decree the annihilation of beings made in his own image, nor that he will decree pain which will be of no benefit to the sufferer. And 5, beware of weakening zeal for the gospel. The gospel should be preached with passionate urgency. And then he gives a paragraph where he's quoting R.A. Torrey, an evangelist, and this is his conclusion at the end of a study on this material in his book, What the Bible Teaches. I'll put in the description his name and his book title as well. Here's some of his comments. Shallow views of sin and of God's holiness and of the glory of Jesus Christ and his claims upon us lie at the bottom of weak theories of the doom of the impenitent. He concluded with, time and again the author has come up to this awful doctrine and tried to find some way of escape from it. But when he has failed, as he always has at last, when he was honest with the Bible and with himself, he has returned to his work with an increased burden for souls and an intensified determination to spend and to be spent in their salvation. So Wenham concludes, such a challenge merits the most earnest searching of heart as well as the most conscientious searching of Scripture. If Torrey's view is rejected, another view must be found, which evokes at least as great a zeal for the glory of God and the salvation of men. I do like the last question, and I think we should think of that. Is our motivation the glory of God in this whole doctrine? I'm going to link 2. One of them is called JWs, XJWs, and everyone else. Beware of confirmation bias. And the second one, JW Guru, Fred Franz, gets laugh even from the governing body, rationalizing house to house. So the tendency is, if you believe something, even in the face of difficulties, you'll just rationalize those difficulties away. Next time we will be talking about the need for fresh study.